Testing. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Little technical difficulty there. I got a call while I was streaming live from the acoustic piano. So, if you guys want to have the recap of what we've already done, please make sure you go watch the other video. I'll make sure that it's public. It might be private. I think it might default to private. So I'll make that at least unlisted or just put it public. But anyway, so we dropped out sound somewhere around the second or third measure. But let me grab the PDF. And we had a really good group that were joining in for the last live stream, so we're going to have to start over on that. All right, so we've already covered the first couple of measures, and let's just talk about the third measure again. The third measure, the second line down, has this idea, something we've been working on lately. And what it actually is that? It's the C note, I'm sorry, the A note, the idea of using the A in our blues. Like, I love that sound. I think this one is actually in Blues Volume 1. I can't remember if it's example 5 or not. But anyway, the idea of coming down, starting on your A note. So you get the 6, the 5, the flat third, da 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 da, 6 5 root, da do da do da da. And in this particular bass line, we're actually doing C E G A G. And I like to practice these bass lines hand separate. That way you're building up muscle memory. And let's put the actual fingers together. We're going to do this. Again, so we start off together. 1, 2, and 3, and then 4, and notice that I'm A, G. Those are together. And then the C's are together. And just loop that. Now a couple of things about that. If you put that idea with the guide tones from the first measure, that gives you something to play, comping in the right hand, right? The third note and the flat 7 are your guide tones, so you could actually practice like this. So once you learn measure 1 as a pattern, that's just one comping pattern that you can use at any time in any situation. All right, let me check the chat just to see. I don't see anybody in here, but I want to make sure that you guys are able to see the stream. 1 second. This is the bad thing when you have a technical difficulty and you start over, because I sent out the email to several thousand people, and we had people that were jumping in, and now we have exactly 0. So thank you for jumping back in if you do that. All right, so let's keep going down the list. So this bass line is just like all the others that we've been learning. I like for you guys to learn hand separate and build up this finger memory or muscle memory, because this 5, 3, 2, 1 is actually will work in every single key, no matter what key you're in, because we're outlining the triad. Hey, Vicky. No matter if I go to D, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're not looking to play it fast, just evenly. And notice that my fingers are over each note that needs to play. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. Thank you for liking the video, and thank you for commenting, Vicky. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So it doesn't matter what key I'm in. If you're more experienced, you want to play things in all keys. If you have less experience, you're a beginner, just work on it on the key of C, and then we work on it in the key of F, or the chord, the F chord, and the G chord, because we can play a lot of blues with just 3 chords, right? C, and then F is the same pattern. And then on G is the same pattern, starting on G using the G6, F6, and the C. All right, so what we've already practiced so far is the idea of the Ray Charles idea. Now this comes from what I'd say. What I'd say we did it like this: 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 4, and the lick goes. I did a whole actual worksheet of that and a workshop with our Blues Academy. We actually started off in E, same thing. And we talked about how do you actually get to a point where you can play this rhythm and lock it up with the right hand. So we'll do that on another lesson, and I have a whole worksheet on that I can send anybody that needs it. But the main thing is learning about the right hand today, especially for my beginners. I want all of us to know is that sometimes we use different fingers to get different sounds. Like when I started first learning about this kind of stuff, I hardly ever did 3 to 3. I would do going up lots of slides like that, but the idea of 3 down to 3 was kind of foreign, because I was used to doing a more classical background of doing 4, 3 and using certain type fingerings. Now, it's really important. Hey, you're back. Awesome. Yeah, that's right. Now I have at least one. I have at least 2 now. So thank you guys both for coming back. All right, so notice that the fingerings, sometimes we use different fingerings to get different sounds. Like for this Ray Charles idea, and we're playing it in C, and for what I'd say the original is in E. But the same type of fingering, like when I first learned this fingering right here in the key of E, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 3, 3, it felt a little weird, right? You have to learn how to do these fingerings that are not exactly what we think we should do. Now for this in the key of C, I'm giving you 2 fingerings that you can use, and the chart is there, so if you haven't already downloaded it from the last video, download it, it's right there. And I put this fingering here, so the lick starts on the 5th of the scale, so the G note. Now notice it goes 5th up to 7, and then flat 7, I'm sorry, of the C scale, and then your root. So you have this, and then watch this, 3, 3, 2, 1. So you had this. Sorry. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now Now, in order to actually line this up, you have to get very strategic and make sure you understand where do the beats line up. So I'm going to break this down so that you guys can have success, all right? If you're enjoying this again, you're getting back on the live, I want you to make sure you like the video. Let's get back up to 10 likes really quickly, and let's make sure that we focus in on this second measure. So we're doing this. Notice that those grace notes there, F and F sharp, that are written in the score that are smaller, our main note is the G on beat 1, 1. And notice that I have to practice to learn how to do this. All of us, we have to actually isolate this F to F sharp and G. Yes, I could go 1, 2, 3, but it doesn't have the same sound as that little slide, right? It's just a subtle thing that sounds so good when we do it right. It takes work to learn how to do it. You know, I still practice that all the time. If I don't practice those kinds of fingerings, then my playing starts to show it. You know, so this kind of thing you just learn how to do by isolating it and playing it slow. Now, there's another fingering you can use, which I'll show you in just a minute. But let's practice this first part. 1, 1, and 2. That's the first part. 1 and 2 and. My and is the F note, and I go F sharp to F. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So if I'm putting that together, and this is pretty tricky, guys, when you're putting this together, but once you get it, it'll really feel good. So listen to this very slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And notice what 4 is the A and the C, A and C, and the G and B flat. Again, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. Now let me just loop that. I always say sometimes a phrase of loop it for days. Loop it until you get it, and then loop it some more. All right, if you're understanding that, enjoying that, please put that in the chat and say hello, and I'll keep going on if you guys are ready for me to keep going on. And while you guys are doing that, I can't wait to show the general public, which we haven't even done yet, the Blues Academy. We have several cool academies that are coming out April 1st, but what I love to do is I love working with my team. And we have 14 people on the team now, which is really awesome. Let me show you guys something really cool. Okay, so this is just a quick side note, is that at iMusicAcademy, you know, we've kind of evolved into, yes, I still sell courses all the time, but I love community, and so courses and community is where we've moved into, and I absolutely love our group of 14 people, and we hang out together 4 times a week, and I also like to go live on YouTube, so anyway, let me show you guys some fun stuff real quick. Where is that actual? Let me find my window. Oh, right here. Nope, that's not it. It's right here. Yeah, so so we've had this cool music academy that nobody ever sees for over 1.5 years, and I've had 6 people, and now we have 14 people. But it's so cool because everything is all this works great on phones and tablets and computers. But for instance, we were working on Blues Volume 2 this morning, so I just clicked the Access Now button, and Blues 2 is all here. And then so if we wanted to work on Example 1, which we were doing today, I just play that, and if I want to watch the video, I click that. And if I need to slow it down, it's right there, and then the sheet music is right here. But I want to highlight something really cool. I hope you can see this. But today we worked on something, and this is really relevant and important, is this one lick, a C6, using that A note I was telling you about, connects to this, which also hits that A note, and then up to the flat 7, another really important lick, and then it comes back down, and it does the minor third to major third again. So notice that how all of these licks, even though they're different, they're still highlighting some super important things. For instance, the minor third to major third. You hear that all the time in blues licks, and this kind of thing is using the sixth note and the minor third to major third. And even when I come up to a different part of that lick, it's minor third to major third. There's your six, and there's your flat seven, another really important thing. And then this part of the lick highlights a C triad, which I'm going to even take it to the next level. Listen to this. You guys know one of the most famous licks we have at iMusicAcademy is that one that goes right. So, and what that is same thing. It's a C chord in second inversion. So when you go minor third to major third, there it is. Okay, let me go back. And so you put all those together, and then you start to see, oh, the blues really has some important notes. The minor third to major third, that minor third, the sixth note, and the flat seven. Now, just knowing that right there is where this PDF that I gave you guys is going to make things come alive. Let me go back to where I can see you guys. 1 second. Helga, definitely email me and I'll tell you all about that. It's not officially live. However, there have been people that have that are a part of what we're doing with the iMusicAcademy on the membership side even before the launch. But just email me and I'll tell you about that. But right now, let's keep going. If you're enjoying this, just let me know and let's keep going. And I'm very thankful, Helga, that you're here and that Vicky's here and that anybody else looking. Okay, so check this out, guys. The third line down is this triplet thing. 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 1 and then... Now, why is this important and what's happening? I mean, you hear this kind of stuff all the time in blues. Or... right, this kind of sound. Right, da 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 da. 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4. You can say one triplet, two triplet. But what's happening is minor third to major third to root. Now, this is just a simple way of doing a fun little flashy but very basic lick, right? 2 3 5, 2 3 5, and you can finish it if you want to with a tonic, with a C. Okay, so knowing that, if I go to any key, guess what fingering I'm going to use? Same exact thing. 2 3 5, 2 3 5. So you can learn you can take any triad and do minor third to major third. F, same thing. G, same thing. Okay, so that would be a fun exercise you could do for not only learning a very simple concept, but also transposing it into some different keys. For the key of A is the same idea, but now I'm hammering on minor third to major third. And in B flat, I'm minor third to major third. See, so I'm doing ear training at the same time in G, minor third to major third. Let's keep going and getting these concepts down. Now look at the very next one. It's this idea. Actually going on what I like to call automatic pilot. So you get into shape 1, Helga and Vicky. Y'all get into shape 1. As a reminder, what's shape 1? The first 5 notes of the blues scale. In whatever key you're in, it's going to be the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is what gives you confidence as a beginner. And even if you're a pro, you do this in all keys, you really start to get some confidence, right? Doesn't matter what key I'm in, I can mix the notes all around. I could go, I could go up, go. Da, 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 da. All different kinds of combinations. As a matter of fact, Helga and Vicky, one of the things that I like to do is create very beginning basics to help with improvisation and the first 5 notes, let's say, of the blues scale. And even every week we talk about ways to take simple shapes and create really awesome music out of that. So Helga, when you email me, just do bob@iMusicAcademy.com and I'll send you the beginning blues sheet. So it'll take, and I don't know what level you are, Helga, but let's just say that this fits right under your style and you're at level 1, right, which is the blues shape, first 5 notes of the blues scale. And what this does is it starts like that. It says, okay, you can play it up and down, and you get used to locking the hands up, and then you go, okay, something like that, and then maybe, right, another 5 notes, using 4 of those notes. And so I have a whole sheet of different ways to turn that around. And even in this PDF right here, I have several of those. So if you look down at the 3rd line, let me change over here. All right, now, it says shape 2 down there. So we started talking about this when I went live before we got cut off. And that is the 5 of the C scale, the flat 7, the root, and the minor 3rd. So I love this, the top of this blues scale, because you have shape 1, which covers the first 5 notes. The top 4 notes cover the blues scale and then the minor 3rd on top. Now the reason this is significant is because the tonic is great, but this minor 3rd on top gives you tension at the top, and we like that sound. Right? It gives us that sound of that tension, that bluesy feeling. Now, let's take just that one idea and do something else. Yes, the minor 3rd sounds great, and it sounds very bluesy. And we did talk about how you can, you take the top half and you connect it with that F sharp, your 4th finger on the F sharp. I love for you guys to get fluid learning about shape 1 and then transitioning to shape 2. But this is your money note for making sure that you have fluid motion as you go down. You visualize getting to that F sharp with your 4th finger. So every blues scale that we play, there's a certain way I like to teach to get fluid as you go across the keyboard. So Helga and Vicky, if you guys are playing this shape right here, occasionally you might want to have that major 3rd sound. So guess what? You can go to the major 3rd. So I could be going along like, so I was minor 3rd, first time. So sometimes I want to hear a major 3rd, and I like to hear that 6th note, right? So now you're messing around with, I could do that. So I'm interchanging some minor 3rd sounds to major 3rd. And so far, we're only talking about a couple different shapes. I mean, think of how many different shapes there are available to us. And right now, we're just using 2 at this point. And maybe sometimes, if you call this another shape, it actually is a shape. And in the shapes course that we did, that's one of them because it comes right out of the C triad, and all you're doing is minor 3rd to major 3rd. But I want you guys to let's keep going down the page here. So if you think about this, I want everybody to think about this. Your middle finger on any key that you're playing the blues sets you up for shape 2. And there you go. It's the 5th, it's the flat 7, it's the root, and it's the minor 3rd. So it doesn't matter what key I'm in. If I'm in the key of G and I put my middle finger on G, that shape is already ready to go. So if I'm playing G blues with a friend of mine, it's all of those notes will work. If I'm playing blues and a friend of mine is a guitar player and all he plays is in the key of A, put my middle finger on A, there it is right there. And guess what? This shape transitions with my fourth finger to get me the confidence I need to play it fluid all the way up and down the blues scale. Does that make sense? If it does, put that in the chat. And we have some extra people watching now. Make sure you guys download this chart. I want you guys to enjoy that and have fun with it. And let's keep going down the chart, and then I'll show you one. Let's actually do one more lick before we sign off today. I'm going to go another 10 minutes. I'll be done with this lesson in 10 minutes because we've already done 20 or so minutes on the other live stream. And then I want to give you guys some time to practice. But again, let's try to get up to 10 likes with this video. We had 10 likes in just a few minutes, and then my sound cut out. So anyway, let's try to get up there. And I'd love to hear from you guys. If you like the PDF, you can always email me, bob@iMusicAcademy.com, and just let me know that you like it. Also, let me know if you're having any trouble practicing, getting better, or if you need any simple blues tips, and I'm happy to help you guys out. Okay, so let me go. So the next thing is this, shape 1B. This is actually in that blues PDF I was telling you about, the beginning blues PDF. Right? It's just the A blues scale. The first four notes is going to work over everything. And what I would do is practice that one idea for a while, and then you're going to put it with another one of the things on this PDF. Maybe it's the Ray Charles thing where you go. So you hear how that works even over the F chord, right? Da 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 da. Right? You hear that works over the C or the A. So even though I did that, da, 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 even when I went down, notice that I did this. I did the top half shape 2, right? I did that. And then one time I went just the A blues scale. Notice how closely related those are. You have the blues scale, and then you have the A note with the first four notes of the A blues scale. So what if that was my only 3 ideas I was going to work on and focus in on? I go... Actually, I'm sorry. Here we go. And then I went here, which is one of the more popular easy blues licks at iMusic Academy, where you take the third up to the root and then go down chromatically. This is another one where the fingering is always the same. 1 5 1 2 1 5 1 2 1 5. And you go all the way down the keyboard like that. All right, that's for another time, but notice that I wanted to hear the major sound at the end. I was doing so much minor stuff, I wanted to hear a little bit of major. And then I went something... Okay, let's keep going down the PDF. Okay, so I did a video a couple of days ago, and I said I think it's a shorts video, and I said start your day off with the flat 7, right? The flat 7 to the scale. So you had this flat 7, 6, 5, 4, flat 3 to major 3, and then the 1. So listen to this sound. There's something about starting off on the flat 7 that makes it really bluesy, right? You could start off your morning playing that flat 7 and it feels really good. So that's why I put that lick in there. And it's 3, 2, 2, 1, 3, and I go 1, 2, 3, and I do roll this one up. So I go da 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 again. Actually, the bass line I have is. Okay, the very next measure that you're going to work on is this. All we're doing is the same thing of 1, flat 3 to 3, 4, 5, so it's that C6 lick. And I go 6 with the A note and the octave, and then I went up to the minor third of C. The reason I did that, I included that lick in this PDF is because I like for you guys to have the octave right. You have the C octave up to the E flat. So practicing this spacing for the octave is really important. So you have this. Practicing the spacing of the octave is really, really important. All right, a couple more things to do and then we're done. Okay, so check this out, guys. So if you need an ending for your song, your blues song, it's the same thing. I'm doing the Ray Charles thing, and then at the end I'm doing C, E, F, F sharp, G, and then I'm doing the right hand. What a great ending. All I'm doing is 5, 3, 1, 2, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. All right, let me show you that last lick. What's going on, Jeffrey? Good to see you as always, Jeffrey. Love having Jeffrey on the lives. I think Jeffrey shows up on every live that we do for iMusicAcademy. So thank you guys for all the likes. So technically we're up to 16. We had 10 in the other, but anyway, happy that you guys are all that all of you are here. Jeffrey, always good to see you. And let's look again at the Blues Academy. I love what's happening here. And again, we have 14 people. I'm gonna give my shout outs as we close out. But for instance, we were working on Blues Volume 1 this week, and then this week we've been doing, last week, and this week we're doing Blues Volume 2. Now this is just a fun thing I'm going to show you as we close out. Let's look at Blues Volume 4 real quick to show you how fun I love this platform. It's like, here's what I really love about it. Let's just say I'm working on Blues Example 8. Like, any example, I'm going to go to one earlier so you can see the way the completion thing works. If I'm in Blues Volume 4 and I'm like working on Example 2 and I want to play it, I just press the play button, boom. And I can slow it down if I want to. And there's the sheet music. But when I get done with a lesson, Example 2. I do completed.
This is actually quite challenging in some places because it has a...
And then it says, all right, you have 6 out of 12 lessons completed. And so I love this idea of courses, community, and the idea that we're on like roadmaps for success. You know, it's like, oh, okay, I can look at the course and say, all right, I've practiced these and I'm done with this, and so I can keep going on. So the other day we did Blues Volume 1. We were doing, all right, we're going to do example 1, 3, 5, and 7 or whatever, and then we did a whole lesson on that, which kind of keeps us going. The other thing that I'd love to do with all of my students, and I always want to encourage you guys, is to do our finger exercises. For 50 days to flying fingers, that's the first example. And I'm playing it faster than I want you guys to practice it. But working all of the fingers every day is super important. Even if you just did the first 5 notes of the blues scale, up and down, this is really going to help you. And if you have more experience, take it up. And take your time with that. Okay, so anyway, so within the blues, the blues membership part for my academy is we have, not only do you have, and we're currently loading everything in. So we've had 2 memberships over the last year and a half. One has everything in it, and my 6 people have been using it for the last year and a half, and it's all unreleased things and just amazing amounts of content. But then you have blues shapes in all keys. And so, like, if you guys remember when we did our boot camp, so then all you do is hit the button, boom, access now, and then it pulls up blues shapes in all keys. Now, what I like about this kind of stuff is, that's why I want to encourage you guys, you learn this even, and then let's just say you learn this, and as you get more experience and more confidence, then you take this simple blues shape in all keys. Right? You learn how to do this kind of stuff. And then how about this? You know, we have blues bass lines in all keys and blues alternate bass lines. So you're learning how to do stuff like this. Let's just say, for instance, and you learn that bass line, but what about this? Same exact thing in the right hand, or what about this? So it doesn't matter what key we're in. It's just certain things you have to learn. So I'm a firm believer that we can all do this stuff. Anybody can do this stuff if you know how to practice and work on this stuff. Otherwise, you're just going to get frustrated. So I love the baby steps of learning things. And that's what I hope that you got out of this lesson today, is that you take this free PDF that I put in the comments, or sorry, in the chat. And Jeffrey, make sure you download that. And it has some simple Ray Charles things, right? This. Just use it with any bass line you want. And that's the other idea, another idea. How about this? Guys get the idea. Very, very easy stuff. And the way you get success is by taking one simple thing and focusing on that one thing. All right, so let me give my shout outs again as we close out for today. Hold on, guys. Let me get my little paper. All right, first I want to thank Vicky and Jeffrey and Helga for hanging out today. Really appreciate you guys. And then I'm going to go down the list of my awesome team. So Dave P, Dave W, to Claire, to T-Man, to Peter, to Ian, to David D, to Charity, to Pat, to Bill, to Vicky, of course, to Ted, to Martin, and to Raymond. You guys are awesome. And I absolutely love it. It's these guys' fault that we turned in just iMusicAcademy being about courses to now it's courses and community, because I think that's where we get a lot done. Is when we get, not only do we meet together each week and go through this stuff, but man, we do everything from motivation to talking about obviously how to practice. We practice together and everything, and I think that's where we get a lot done. So anyway, I hope you have an amazing day today, the rest of the day. I hope you enjoy that PDF, and I would love to hear from you guys. If at any time you want to reach out to me for anything related to music, I would love to help you with that. Jeffrey, so good to see you. Helga, great to see you. And Vicky, great to see you guys, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.